Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. The former Hallmark star opens up about why she chose to step away from Hollywood, and the truth behind her decision is far more layered and emotional than fans might have imagined. For years, she was one of the most recognizable faces on television, building a loyal audience with heartfelt stories, wholesome movies, and characters that became a comfort for millions of viewers. Her career seemed stable, even charmed, yet behind the camera, she felt something different, something that ultimately guided her to step away from the spotlight. She explains that Hollywood, while glamorous on the surface, comes with pressures that few can fully understand unless they've lived inside the system. The long work hours, the expectations from networks, the competition for roles, and the constant demand to maintain a public image all began to take a toll on her. At first, she tried to ignore the growing discomfort. After all, the opportunity to star in beloved movies was a dream come true. But as the years passed, the reality of Hollywood life didn't align with the picture-perfect image that fans often see. For her, the first major turning point was when the projects she was offered no longer reflected the kind of person she wanted to be. While she valued her time working on light-hearted romances and feel-good family films, she began to feel creatively stifled. She wanted roles that challenged her, stories that carried deeper meaning, and opportunities to explore the full range of her talent. Hollywood, however, often prefers to typecast. Once an actor is associated with a certain kind of role, it becomes increasingly difficult to break out of that mold. She knew that staying in the same place meant limiting her own artistic growth. She also shared that the lifestyle itself weighed on her heavily. Hollywood culture often celebrates success in terms of fame, ratings, and social visibility. Yet, those markers of success left her feeling hollow. She admitted that while she smiled on red carpets and did press tours behind the scenes, she was questioning everything. Was she truly happy? Was she living a life of purpose? Was she creating work that matched her values? Those questions grew louder over time until she could no longer ignore them. Another factor in her decision was the lack of privacy. For many actors, fame comes with a cost, and that cost is the ability to live quietly. She describes moments where she couldn't go to the grocery store without being recognized, or times when even personal family events were intruded upon by the media. While fans' admiration is often rooted in love, the loss of personal space made her long for a life where she could simply be herself without the weight of constant observation. She admitted that she struggled with burnout. The pace of making back-to-back movies, keeping up with industry expectations, and balancing the demands of her personal life left her drained. She noticed her joy fading. Even when she was on set, surrounded by supportive cast and crew, she realized she wasn't as present as she wanted to be. Her passion for acting, once a fire that guided her through auditions and long workdays, began to dim. And that was perhaps the biggest sign of all, that it was time for change. She recalls the moment she knew she had to step away. It wasn't dramatic or sudden. Instead, it was a quiet realization during one of her last projects. She said she looked around at the set, at the lights, at the script in her hands, and she realized her heart wasn't in it anymore. That acknowledgement scared her at first, because she had built her whole life around acting. But it also gave her clarity. She no longer wanted to push through for the sake of keeping up appearances. She wanted to reclaim her life. Walking away from Hollywood wasn't an easy choice. She knew it would surprise fans, disappoint some, and even spark rumors. Yet, she decided that her peace mattered more than the noise of public speculation. Since leaving, she has found that life outside Hollywood offers a kind of freedom she never experienced before. She can choose how to spend her days, she can prioritize family and personal passions, and most importantly, she no longer feels pressured to be someone she isn't. She also acknowledges that Hollywood, while difficult, gave her valuable lessons. She met incredible people, formed lifelong friendships, and gained experiences that shaped her into who she is today. She doesn't resent her past career. In fact, she is grateful for it. But she sees it as a chapter, not the whole book. Now, she is writing a new chapter, one defined by authenticity and fulfillment. When fans ask if she will ever return, her answer is honest but measured. She says she doesn't close doors. If a project comes along that truly inspires her and aligns with her values, she would consider stepping back into acting. But she emphasizes that it would have to be the right role at the right time, under circumstances where she feels respected as both an artist and a human being. She is no longer willing to sacrifice her well-being for the sake of maintaining a career. In the time since leaving Hollywood, she has discovered passions she didn't have time for before. She has focused on family, on writing, on mentoring younger artists who are just starting their journeys. She has embraced hobbies, traveled, and allowed herself to experience life at a slower pace. In her own words, she finally feels like she is living rather than performing. She also reflects on how Hollywood can shape identities in ways that aren't always healthy. Many actors begin to see themselves only through the lens of their careers. Success or failure in the industry becomes tied to their sense of self-worth. She admits she fell into that trap, measuring her value by the roles she landed or the ratings her movies pulled in. Stepping away allowed her to separate her identity from her career. She came to understand that she is more than her resume, more than the characters she played, and more than the applause she received. That realization brought her an inner strength she didn't know she had. Her story also shines a light on the broader issue of Hollywood burnout. She isn't alone in her decision. Many actors, both high-profile and lesser-known, have quietly stepped away for similar reasons. The industry demands constant output, but it rarely gives people the space to reflect or recharge. She hopes her choice encourages others, especially young actors, to prioritize their mental health and not feel trapped by expectations. She talks about how the values she holds now are centered on authenticity, balance, and genuine human connection. In her Hollywood years, she sometimes felt she was living in a bubble, disconnected from the everyday experiences of most people. Now she relishes ordinary moments, sitting with a friend over coffee, spending time outdoors, enjoying quiet evenings without scripts or deadlines. For her, that simplicity is richer than any glamorous event could ever be. Her honesty about why she left has resonated deeply with fans. Many have shared their own stories of walking away from jobs, relationships, or lifestyles that no longer served them. She sees that as one of the greatest rewards of speaking her truth, the ability to connect with others on a deeper level, beyond the screen. Fans no longer just see her as the character they loved in a Hallmark movie. They see her as a human being navigating life's choices with courage. She also addresses the misconceptions people have about actors who leave. Some assume it must be because of scandal, failure, or a lack of opportunity. But she makes it clear that leaving was not about doors closing, it was about her opening a new one. She had opportunities. She could have kept going. But she chose differently, because she wanted to define success on her own terms. That choice, she says, is the most empowering decision she's ever made. Looking back, she has no regrets. She values the memories, the fans, the art she contributed to. But she also values the life she has now. If anything, she wishes she had trusted herself sooner. She had ignored the inner voice that urged her toward change, fearing what others would think. But once she listened, she found peace. That is the message she hopes others take away. It's never too late to walk away from something that no longer fits, and it's never too late to choose yourself. She remains grateful for the fans who continue to support her, even as she pursues a life off-screen. Their letters, social media messages, and kind words remind her that the work she did still lives on in people's hearts. And while she may not be starring in new films, her legacy endures in the stories already told. Her journey from Hollywood actress to a life of purpose beyond the industry is a reminder that success isn't one size fits all. For some, it's about awards and fame. For her, it's about peace, authenticity, and connection. She encourages others to define success for themselves, without being trapped by outside expectations. This former Hallmark star's decision to walk away from Hollywood is not a tale of loss, but of liberation. It's proof that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is let go of what no longer serves us, even if the world doesn't understand. She may have left the bright lights, but in doing so, she found something far more valuable, her true self. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.